From taking the NBA by storm in his rookie year to him being slapped with a massive suspension by the league for his actions, here's why Ja Morant will end up ruining his own career. Let's kick this off by talking about his incredible rookie year, because he was out there beasting and feasting on everyone. I mean, he was doing it all for Memphis during their 2020 campaign. If you need a reminder of how terrific he was right off the bat, then look no further than his third game in the NBA. Ja and Kyrie Irving went at it when they met in October 2019, treating fans to a thriller. Kyrie had a great game, but the Morant-led Grizzlies came out on top. And it was all because Ja went into full God mode, especially in the clutch. He played a huge role in forcing overtime because not only did he score 8 of the Grizzlies' last 10 points in regulation, but he also blocked Irving's shot to win the game.
Irving, blocked by Morant! We're going to overtime!
Then, in the final seconds of overtime, he dished a beautiful pass to Jay Crowder, who cashed in on the wide-open, game-winning three. The point guard left the NBA world speechless with his performance, which was only a sign of things to come. Morant's fantastic performances earned him the 2020 Rookie of the Year award, and he followed this up with an impressive sophomore year, though at the same time, Ja wasn't looked at as a star just yet. But that changed following his phenomenal 2022 campaign. This dude came out guns blazing as he averaged 35 points across the first 3 games of the season, leaving NBA fans starstruck. He kept up the amazing performances, earning himself his first All-Star appearance in the process. Morant finished the season with averages of 27.4 points, 6.7 assists, 5.7 rebounds, and with 1.2 steals, while his efficiency was spectacular. By the time the playoffs rolled around, he played his heart out until he got injured in the second round. And there's no doubt in my mind that Memphis would have made it past Golden State if he was healthy. Either way, the 2022 season was a success for Ja. After all, the NBA world sang praises for him like crazy following his career year. Back in October 2022, Kevin Durant had nothing but praise for the point guard. When ESPN asked the Slim Reaper if Morant reminded him of anyone, no one came to mind because he thinks the point guard's a unique player. Plus, much like everyone else, KD also pointed out how impressive the point guard's athleticism and creativity is. But the praise doesn't stop there, because even one of the most dominant athletes in league history made sure to give Ja some props. While speaking on Inside the NBA in November 2022, Shaquille O'Neal gassed up Morant, calling him the new age Allen Iverson, and then went on to say that Morant's going to be the best in the world by 2025. Shaq isn't the only former athlete who was impressed by the point guard's 2022 campaign. Even Kendrick Perkins couldn't believe how remarkable Ja was in just his third year as a pro. Perk called Morant a generational talent before adding that he believes the point guard's a mix of Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, and Rajon Rondo. That alone is a huge compliment, though it was nothing compared to what Kendrick followed it up with. Not only did he say that Ja's already a superstar, but he even called him the next Giannis. Because he believes the point guard can lead a small market team past the finish line, just like Antetokounmpo did in 2021. Here's the thing though. Keeping all his off-court antics in mind, will all of that potential go down the drain? After all, he's a walking controversy at this point. As good as he's been on the court, there's no excuse for his actions off of it. But now it's time to address the elephant in the room. When did things start to go wrong? The answer to that is May 2022, when the point guard got into a war of words with an NBA fan on Twitter. The fan was trolling Ja about his dating life, to which Morant replied, "It's free to see how hollows feel." This left many shocked because he was threatening to shoot a fan. Though this was only a sign of things to come, his actions only got worse. Ja was doing all sorts of crazy things in 2022, but it wasn't until 2023 that fans found out about his behavior. In a report published by the Washington Post, all of Ja's terrible antics were exposed to the NBA world. Not only did they report that the point guard threatened the head of security at a Memphis mall, but he did the same thing with a Foot Action employee. This alone is a terrible look, but it's nothing compared to what he did a few days after those events. While playing some pickup basketball at his house, Ja got into it with a 17-year-old boy, and rather than acting like a mature adult, he socked the kid so hard that it left a large knot on his head. And in typical Ja Morant fashion, he made things worse by whipping out a weapon on the teenager. As if that wasn't bad enough, Morant said that he was acting in self-defense. Yeah, right, Ja. We all know you're just trying really hard to be a tough guy. Ja's actions since 2022 have been inexcusable, especially since the dude's one of the most popular players in the league. But at this point, he's gone rogue and started doing whatever the hell he wants. Things got especially bad in March of 2023 when the point guard waved a gun on social media. Ja was at a strip club and for some reason he thought it was a good idea to go live on Instagram. That alone was weird, but he added way more fuel to the fire by waving a gun during the live. And it's not as if it was an accident, because Morant was showing that thing off like it was his most prized possession. An NBA player being associated with guns in any capacity is the last thing anyone wants, especially not Adam Silver, so he slapped Morant with an 8-game suspension. The NBA commissioner added that the athlete's actions were irresponsible, reckless, and potentially very dangerous. After all, as Silver pointed out, Morant has a huge fan following, with most of them being impressionable kids, so if they see him using a gun, they'll want to as well. The incident obviously caused a lot of controversy because Ja did the unthinkable, and whether it's fans or analysts, they haven't been able to look at him the same ever since. But at first, it looked as if Ja genuinely felt bad about his actions, as he agreed to go through counseling and even publicly apologized to everyone during an interview with Jalen Rose. So even though Morant messed up majorly, there was some hope that he'd get on the right track, and that's why Gilbert Arenas even jumped to the athlete's defense. Arenas knows what it's like to be at the forefront of an incident involving a gun, but rather than calling Morant out, he dismissed the incident as one of a young person with a lot of money who just wants to do stupid shit. No Chill Gil was willing to give Ja the benefit of the doubt and said that if he were the Grizzlies owner in that situation, he would have just acted like he didn't see what happened and moved on. Though, of course, not everyone was as forgiving. The NBA on TNT crew were especially pissed off at Ja for what he did, with Shaquille O'Neal saying that what the point guard did was unacceptable and reckless, because he made the choice of going live at such a terrible time. After all, what was he even trying to achieve besides trying to act cool for no reason? The Big Diesel's buddy, Charles Barkley, went in on Morant even harder, claiming that Ja should stop acting like a damn fool. Things escalated from 0 to 100 with Ja, and just when we thought it couldn't get any worse, Morant proved us all wrong 2 months later. Ja and his brother were having some fun during a car ride, and his friend was recording a video of them living it up. But as soon as the camera turned towards the athlete, we saw a gun in his hand, and once again, he was waving it as if it were a toy. The second people found out about the clip, it spread like wildfire, and people started losing hope in the athlete. Following the backlash, the point guard apologized to everyone for his actions, but guess what? Fans accused him of using ChatGPT for the apology. That might not be true, though the fans still trolled him like crazy and had fun with the situation. That being said, lots of analysts have made it clear that this is no laughing matter. Kenny the Jet Smith was especially worried since Ja did the same thing within the span of just 2 months. He made it clear that he's lost hope in Morant, because it's clear as day that the only person we can blame for these incidents is Ja himself. Kenny added that while nobody's gotten hurt so far, that could change if Morant keeps up his behavior. Plus, as Smith said, the athlete could also get attacked by the real tough guys to see if Morant's all talk or not. Shaq and Chuck agreed with him while pointing out that once you make it big, there's zero room for acting like an idiot. Even Gilbert Arenas changed his attitude towards Ja after the second gun video, saying that Morant needs to get himself together. Of course, he's still young. So are there any chances of him being able to redeem himself? Only time will tell, but the NBA knows that he can only get his act together if they come down hard on him. So they slapped him with a huge suspension. An 8-game suspension didn't do the trick last time, and that's why the NBA commissioners needed to kick it up a notch. While Mark Medina suggested Morant should be suspended for the full season, Adam Silver gave him a 25-game suspension, leaving the Grizzlies in a terrible spot as they're 5-14 as of the 6th of December 2023. Not to mention, Morant's actions have lost the respect of many fans and analysts, with many trolls making memes about Ja and his love for guns. It's an unfortunate situation, but like I said, he's still got his whole career ahead of him, making it possible for him to clean up his act and redeem himself. Hopefully, the suspension made him realize that he needs to change and that we will get a new and improved Morant once he returns. So, from Ja being slapped with a massive suspension by the league for his actions to him taking the NBA by storm in his rookie year, that is why Ja Morant will end up ruining his own career.